Good morning and welcome to Moopsy in the Morning for July the 11th, 2024. I am Mom and I am joined by Chris today. Good morning, Chris.
Hello.
How are you?
Good now. It wasn't in the morning. I woke
Okay.
up with an awful abdominal pain.
Oh
I don't
no.
know what caused it.
Oh no, 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 no,
It
no. I'm
was
so sorry.
radiating to my spine, so I
Ooh,
just felt like doing anything would probably kill me. So I decided to not work today because it was just
excellent
it felt
decision.
pretty severe.
Excellent choice.
I
Yeah,
can't
some.
complain. I finished Prodigy season 2.
Oh, okay.
Picked up my jaw from the floor from the way
Okay.
they wrapped it up.
Well, I still haven't seen it. I will see it at some point. It's just not super high on the mom priorities.
They even tied into all the other
Oh,
shows
I
in
know. Yeah.
meaningful way. Like Picard season benefits from this season 1. They even set up stage for season 3. Like what? Like what?
Well, yeah, they were planning a season 3 before they got canceled, but if it does well enough, they might be able to justify doing a
I do hope so
season
because
3.
that just would be such a loss. The storytelling, the stuff that they've unraveled. Like yeah, the as we said this week, well, the stuff that happens there is just like wow. I did not see that stuff coming, and it did, and I'm so glad that they did the way they did. So good, so good.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Let's see. So apparently Paramount is progressing nicely with possible buyout by Skydance. So if I think it's
They call
Skydance.
it a merger.
Yeah, come on. Merger is between two equals. Paramount doesn't have any money, so I'm saying it's a buyout. But
Yeah.
whatever, that would give them some capital, but they're still working on terms
Well,
regarding
they
the
know that
specific
they have.
IPs.
I know they have secured money for the academy because that production is still going. They're still
Right, right.
casting. They have built the sets and they do have scripts, so I think that one had secure funding somehow.
Well, I think the question will be like they ran into when they did the whole Viacom, and then there was Star Trek Kelvin, which is kind of held separately. I believe that's Bad Robot that holds that, which means they can't crisscross too much with characters and costumes and stuff like that.
I don't know. They even mentioned the events of Kelvin
Well,
timeline
you can
in
mention it, but
Prodigy.
you can't do certain things related to it. So the costumes had to be 30% different. So if you notice, the fabric details are slightly different. The seaming lines are slightly different. They had to make things a little different. And somebody pointed out how ridiculous that was. So hopefully they'll be able to work out the terms so that it's all held together and not
I mean,
under all
that's
these
what
individual licenses.
isn't that what Skydance expressed when the press
Yes.
release was out that they want to
Yes, that's what they
make the
want. Paramount has
universe
to.
more unified?
Right, but Paramount has to agree to it. I mean, it goes back and
Why
forth.
wouldn't they agree?
Well, because maybe they want to hold that separately so they can hold out for more money or something like that. I
Are
mean, I
they in a
realize they're
position
not. No,
to
they're
hold
not.
on to something?
Not in a great
I mean,
position
like
for it. No,
seriously.
no, they're not in a great position to hold on to anything. But I'm sure that's how
Should be
things goes.
lucky that they are getting a new CEO for Paramount, and
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
someone at the helm will actually have some reason how to lead things. Because, like, Christ Almighty,
Yeah. As long as it's not like what's happening with Disney, because that is just such a disaster going on there.
what's happening with Disney?
Well, they lost, what was it, $1.2 billion last year. They one of their major Disney hotels that was going to be Star Wars themed was an absolute poop
Oh,
show.
that thing. I
Yeah,
heard about it. It was like, yeah, let's make it fancy. You feel like on a starship, but there's like limited stay and there's limited stuff you can do,
yeah,
and
and some of the
not the
events.
best quality of stay, and the events weren't working properly. Yada yada.
Right,
Yeah,
so
no.
after investing a ton of money, and then I think the overall participation from people at Walt Disney, the number of people they have going there, is
They also
dropping.
require you to be in a costume or something. It's so
I don't
so
know if they're.
bizarre.
I know some things you're required to, but other things you're not allowed to. Why did my movie maker go on? Go away, movie maker. Go away. Oh, that's in design. That shouldn't have come up either. Go away. There we go.
Well, oh, I mean, I'm glad. I'm happy Disney is failing at something because they've been so snub. Those have been they claimed that they had such a success with everything, and I'm like, where do you see that
Yeah.
success? Everyone is like tearing your shows and your everything from like head to toe. Like nothing really works properly. I think the if it wasn't for the Acolyte TV series, which I haven't seen and I don't plan to,
Yeah, don't. Just skip it.
because I mean, it's not even like I'm not interested because I could be. I'm just afraid they're gonna pull off another Mandalorian situation. They can tie it to another TV series, and I have to oblige to like watch three of them because I need to keep up with the story. And I'm like, I'm not going for that. I'm not signing up for that stuff
No,
again. Like,
no, no, no.
I'm not stupid. I've already done that once. I'm not doing it again. They gave up on Mandalorian altogether, even though it has Pedro Pascal, the ultimate daddy,
Yeah,
in it.
yeah,
I'm
no.
just like, yeah, nope,
I love
nope.
Pedro Pascal. I love him. Love him, love him, love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like crowd levels at Disney are down, though they're saying that could be because there simply aren't any discounts going on right now and haven't been for a long time. Um,
Discounts for what?
various packages and things like that. A lot of times with Disney, they would have a package getting into the park and getting a hotel room at a better price, so they can
Mm.
encourage people to go. However, there's still average wait times for a ride of 65 to 75 minutes, even with reduced numbers of visitors.
Oh my god.
But, at the same time, with the crowd levels being lower, if you really want to go and can afford it, um,
This is a big if,
yeah,
considering
yeah, it
everyone
is
is looking
very
twice at their
expensive.
pocket before they do any entertainment stuff.
Yeah,
I'm saying
it's
that they're kind of like they're gonna start chasing their own tail. I'm
mhm.
all for it. I like to have them, get a proper how do you say it, a bucket of cold water poured all over their heads. I will not mind it. I want the people who are at the helm of Disney out because they're incompetent fools.
Yeah, I
But then
agree.
again, which CEOs of any entertainment company aren't idiots? Like you can just
There's got to
pick
be,
randomly and there's gonna be an idiot.
yeah,
Zaslav from Warner Brothers, he's just such a cretin, like
the
crikey.
the
The
guy
fact that
from Sony who thought Deadpool wouldn't be a viable IP.
Yeah, it's
What?
yeah, like they even like they even imposed some stuff on like Deadpool and Wolverine, and
Well, I'm
they've
talking about when
strong
Deadpool
arms.
first came out as a movie.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
they,
yeah, but I know that they recently even like
oh
tried to
yeah,
limit the Deadpoolness of that film, so
yep, yep.
it's just like less. I'm like, that's what people want to see. Why are you so dumb not to realize
Yeah.
how that works and what's actually like the people who are at the helm of those entertainment industries. That's not
Get
even
out there and
limited to film.
fly.
They are
You son of
so
get out there and
utterly
fly.
disconnected from the fan base that they're trying to feed.
Yep.
They listen to absolutely no feedback. They just look at the Excel spreadsheets, nothing else. And the funny thing is, they still read those Excel spreadsheets wrong because people will really pay for a proper, decent, even 18 plus Deadpool movie
Oh yeah.
more happily, and they'll pay double for it if they rather than see a castrated PG-13
Oh, I'm not
film
going to
that's gonna
argue
be like
that with you at all. Deadpool
that's
and
what they
Wolverine,
want.
there's an expectation to it, in my opinion.
Yeah, like all the other films from Marvel are so safe for teenagers. Like they don't even say a curse word, or they have like limitations to one curse word like it's
Yeah.
very mild and
Buzz
it's
the
not even like
resort.
something really
Oh
serious.
heck.
Yeah, or heck, or damn, or something like that. Oh shit. And that's all. And that's so they're gonna be PG-13 all the way. There's like
Mm-hmm.
one movie for proper adults who wanna see some really nasty action. Like I don't mind Deadpool. I'm not a big fan, but I see the appeal. I get it, and I think that there should be variety for everyone.
I
But
agree.
no, they just want to make it. They just want to optimize it so more people can go for it. Even though that's literally what's like scaring people off. And that's the same thing with gaming lately. So I'm like looking at those big companies, these conglomerates that try to buy so many things all at once to keep as many
The
franchises to
river
monetize
flows.
them,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Spot
they
for fresh
make
water
all the
waiting.
basic mistakes that even like someone who's not even into much into economy and like they're not financially trained and stuff, they do realize that there is some value you need to put in before you can actually profit from it. But you have to take risks because if you don't, you try to serve the safest stuff. Yeah, more people are gonna go for it at the beginning, but the more safe stuff you're gonna put into it, the more people will just know what they're expecting. They're gonna start feeling bored with it, and they're just
Oh,
not
there
gonna
you
go
go.
for more.
That
They're not gonna go for seconds.
yeah, it's you have to get a little adventurous. You have to put some
Yeah,
risk
like
into
the
it.
safe, the safest, the biggest possibly money maker, Star Wars was so wasted by Disney at the very first because
Yeah.
they were like, oh, we're gonna have every Christmas there's gonna be a Star Wars movie. The people are gonna be flooded with that. They're gonna vomit money at us, and I was like, no, that's not how it works.
And that's not how it worked.
If you don't invest into quality and you don't meet the entertainment level of expectation, you're not gonna get like broken penny out of it. Yeah, you're gonna probably maybe even it out, but there's not gonna be profit into it.
No,
And you're gonna
no.
start asking yourself why you're doing it. Like the fact that they had no plans and they ditched all the ideas from
George
Lucas
Lucas,
about
yeah.
the
Yeah.
potential sequels.
And they
They literally pissed all over it. They decided to ignore everything. They threw it all to the bin. They made up some very safe, repetitive story like
well,
The
that's it.
Force Awakens.
It's The Force Awakens is a New Hope,
It's
just
the
with.
worst movie I've seen in like 2 decades.
Oh, it's not the worst movie out there. I mean, Rise of
I mean, not the
Skywalker.
worst. It's the worst sequel because it's
It's
so
just awful.
safe that it
Yeah.
felt boring, predictable. I knew how it's going to end, but when I saw the first 20 minutes of the film. Even though the beginning was kind of fresh because of the way they presented Ray and everything, there was some sort of intrigue. But 40 minutes into the film, I'm like, okay, this is like New Hope all over again.
Yeah.
Like it's literally doing the same thing that the New Hope did.
My
There's even a big station that with a laser that they need to destroy. Like what?
My thought had been they're going to follow the Finn story, which would have been really interesting. I mean, Star Wars from the point of view of a disaffected or broken
Everyone I
warrior.
saw. You know what's
That would have
funny?
been good.
People say that Star Wars are woke or something like the new entertainment stars is woke. Do you know what I've been hearing all the time?
Hmm.
People would have been rooting even for like Finn and Poe having a actual bromance. Like they
That
were
would have been
literally
fine.
rooting for them to becoming a couple if they pursued these two characters because they were so well cast, well entertaining. They had potential, and like Finn you thought that it's going to focus more on him, especially the way it was advertised. Not in China, because Chinese releases tried to hide Finn's existence from the trailers, because apparently Chinese people are racist over different colors. Um, but like everywhere on the West, in the Western market, it was all advertised that Finn is going to be like the one who brings up the sword and is going to be the hope and
It
the
would have
one that
been
you're going to be
such an
rooting
interesting
for.
story, especially, like I said, because you're seeing it from a stormtrooper POV.
Yes, it
Wow,
was
that would have
such a
been
good
so cool.
idea, and like they could build up on the lore, how the stormtroopers were different from the original ones.
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
so much stuff around it. They weren't clones anymore. That they were like programmed. Like there was some sort of and like psychological engineering. There would be some trauma, some inner struggle. No, all that wasted. Finn got sidelined because Chinese markets didn't react to him well, and it's like I'm sorry if you decide to cut a character out, not because he doesn't fit to the story, but because he doesn't sell well in a particular market, then you stop doing filmmaking and you go to finance and you become a
Yeah.
banker or something. You don't do movies because you don't understand entertainment.
Well, the other
If
thing
you
is,
don't tell good stories, if you're not there to tell good stories, yeah, you earn all for it. I get it. You're supposed to earn from it, but if you don't tell a good story, you're not earning from it. Period. You might this might slide once or twice. It's not going to be a cycle.
well, what if
So,
you were to consider what a good movie has been in the last 3 years? Movies that have been really well done. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Great movie. Different point of view. Great characterizations. Didn't cost a fortune. Godzilla minus one.
yeah,
Fantastic
no,
movie.
Godzilla minus one barely had any reasonable budget to pull off
Right,
stuff
that's
that
my point.
like
They had
Hollywood
great
Godzilla
story
did.
taking. Yeah,
I
but
still haven't seen it, but I heard all the good stuff. No spoilers, I've heard, but I already know how it performed, and the amount of budget that went into it, and I was like, "Excuse me, why stuff like
Yeah.
that isn't more financed?
So,
Why
I
is it more
mean, it's
prominent?"
been said that it had a $15 million budget, and the director's like, "Yeah, I wish we had 15 million." So it probably was closer to 10 million. No marketing budget at all, and
And
it
the
did
funny
great.
thing is, the film marketed itself,
Yeah,
like because the people were so hyped for it and they were so positive about it. It literally just the second-hand marketing was just so successful they
yep.
didn't have to invest into it. I mean, they didn't have money for it, but still, they didn't have to do anything regarding marketing. So
And
like,
it did very well because it was a well-made movie. I mean, was it a fabulous movie? No, but it was good story, good
it was
characters.
entertaining. It had good stuff, good everything I've heard. It's just like praise,
The
praise, praise,
Yeah, the effects
praise.
were not over the top, but they were good.
They were appropriate. They were fine. I
Yeah,
saw
they were
trailers from it.
absolutely
I'm like,
fine.
excuse me, that looks amazing for the budget they
Yeah,
had.
yeah.
Meanwhile, 2018, Tomb Raider reboot based film with Alicia Vikander, they had 90-ish million dollar budget, and I saw the CGI and I'm like, excuse me, Mummy from 1999 looks still better. Excuse me, but that is just not going to hold up. The amount of blurring of the CGI and
Yeah.
how it was just smoothed out. I'm like, this looks so fake. I could tell it with my bad eye opened only, and I could tell this is wrong. That this just doesn't hold up in 2018, and it would just and people are like, "Oh, I didn't get a sequel, so sad." I'm like, "How would I get a sequel if everything about it was so bad, except for poor Alicia that, like, literally pulled her all her guts into it. She poured her soul into the character, but the script was terrible, the dialogue writing was awful, CGI was bad, casting was ugh, and they recycled the story from the original game that was literally just ready to be adapted. They literally didn't have to do anything with the script. Nope, they had to ruin everything. Recycled, badly developed. Ugh.
Well, that's what happens
And
when you
people,
write by committee, and then they're like, "Well, you got to do this, and you got to do that, and you got to do this, and what's our end point?"
I don't
It's
know. I
so
don't
difficult to do
understand
that.
movie making these days. I just
Yep.
don't understand it.
And that's
Nothing
why,
they do makes sense.
yeah, and that's why so many movies or theaters are just not doing well.
Dune was such a good thing.
Which
It
one?
was probably one Dune
Oh,
by Denis Villeneuve.
mm-hmm.
Like, wow, I was picking up my jaw from the first one I saw in the movie theater. I still have not seen the second one because there was no opportunity to go, and whenever there were good tickets, I was at work,
Yeah.
or I just couldn't go. So I'm just waiting for a good opportunity to like catch it at home and just watch it. I might actually buy the bundle, the first movie and the second one on Blu-ray when they come out, and I'll just have both of them on the big screen on my big TV. So it's gonna be good. But I remember how good it was. I don't really know the books that much, but I know what's supposed to be canon and what the
Oh,
original 80s movie did not do good.
yeah, well, actually, the '80s movie wasn't that far off from the book, but it wasn't a great story.
Aside from like so many cuts, like the narrated stuff that was done in the background, then they
Yeah,
were cut
it's
when
a
they were trying to cut the story because there was too much story to tell and not enough time.
it's a huge story, and doing it as a
It is.
two-parter makes a lot of sense.
It makes sense. I'm glad they did it that way. And Denis Villeneuve, despite like doing his take on it, he still was trying to do the story justice. He cared about the story.
Mm-hmm.
He cared about Paul, his evolution, his change, his determination. He gave him time to build up to the hero he becomes. I mean, I know what's going on to happen in the second film. Like, more or less, it's gonna be like the same stuff we already know, like
Yeah,
from the
it wraps up this
miniseries.
story to a
It's just
point.
yeah, but like from the aesthetic point of view, from the music point of view, from the cinematography point of view, everything checks out. Why? Because the maker cared. He really cared both about the story, about the characters, about the viewers. Those are the three things you need to care about if you want to make a movie work. You have
Indeed.
to care about the story, about the characters, and about the viewers.
And let,
Everything needs to check out. Like the
let me
story and the
interrupt for
character
one
needs
sec
to
here.
work.
Good morning,
Yeah.
Cliff. Okay, back to where you
Oh,
were.
hi, Cliff. So like all those three things Denis cares about it. He's probably one of my favorite movie makers these days when it comes to directors, because he knows how to make a film that's going to be an entertaining, but it's also not going to be just like, oh, you left the movie theater and you don't remember what it was about 30 minutes later. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
The film that actually stays with you for a while.
yeah. There's
For
so many
some
movies
reason,
that
it
just
just
I can't
stays.
remember for the life of me. Well,
I can't.
while we're chatting, would you like to go do a Borg TFO with me?
Sure.
I only have
Just
one
gonna
Borg
test out
TFO.
my new build on
Okay.
Protostar. I'm very much into Prodigy right now. I'm in my Prodigy era again. I want the Voyager A in the game, the Lamar class. It
Ah,
just needs to come. Oh god, it's so beautiful. I mean, it kind of looks like a blend of Voyager and the Sovereign class, the Enterprise E, kind of. But it's just so good. It looks so sweet. It kind of looks like, you know what it reminds me from STO? The Inquiry refit, the
oh, yeah,
legendary
sure.
Inquiry class. It looks very, very on point from a lot of points of view. I still don't know how they keep whales inside, but then again, Cerritos did have dolphins on board,
Yes,
so I
yes.
guess I still don't know where they fit the tank big enough for a whale, but alright,
That's why we use
understandable.
Klingon ships with what is it? Transparent aluminum? Was that it?
Yeah, I think it was. I don't remember exactly. It was from the fourth film, was
Yes, it
it?
is the fourth film.
I still don't. I like the first and the second, and then there's a big blank. I like Undiscovered Country.
Actually,
And then
I
then let's
was
move to TNG movies because like the other TOS are like kind of like hit and miss. I mean they have good stuff, and it's not, I'm not discrediting them altogether, but story wise,
I thought
eh,
Star Trek 3 was meh, and then somebody who's
yeah.
a real movie maker went back 20 years later and he said, okay, now go back and watch it with this point of view. Look for this and this and this, and you'll discover it's not as bad of a movie as you think.
Yeah, but if
Christopher
someone
Lloyd is,
has to tell you how to view the movie,
well, because if you go in with your TOS perspective of you want to see this story about these characters, but if you go in and you take a different point of view, go in with a fresh set of eyes and realize they're trying to do something a little different, you might appreciate it. You might not, but
I mean,
you know how
the
I
thing is,
dislike Prodigy? This is the same guy who, like you and like it, are going, go in and look at it with a fresh set of eyes and maybe you'll enjoy it. Same thing that happened with Lower Decks. Didn't like it.
I think I should say that about Discovery.
Yeah. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it, but I'm going to try Voyager first.
Well,
But,
rewatch it.
yeah.
I've just lost the ability to because they removed it from Sky Showtime platform, and I'm so pissed. I'm not gonna get another
Well, I still have my Paramount Plus, so
subscription to get it.
after 2 weeks from today, technically 2.5 weeks from today, I will have time to go and sit down in front of the TV and watch stuff. Since 2 weeks, T minus 2 weeks, T minus 10 days. Yay.
It's so dumb because they have TNG, they have Strange New Worlds and Discovery and Prodigy Season 1, but God forbid you have DS9, Voyager, Enterprise. Like, why?
Well,
Why these and not the
they actually
others? And
do
they were
that
all
here.
there together.
They do that here on a lot of streaming things. They'll pull some of the series, like I like watching Midsummer Mysteries or Midsummer Murders, and for a while you could see all 22 seasons. And then they made the first 3 seasons available for free and the last 3 seasons available for free, but not the middle ones. And then they made the first and last ones for pay, but you could watch the middle ones. So if you didn't
Oh
mind watching them,
God, keeping up with that is such a chore. Just what? What is wrong with these people? Like, they think they're gonna subscribe to every second TV like streaming service because you want to keep up with the old shows. Like, who gives a flying?
so
Definitely gonna get a.
Cliff just said, Admiral, there be whales here, except he spelled it Admiral, and then fixed it. But speaking of Admiral, I'm at home last night making my,
Admiral.
yeah, Admiral. I was making a sandwich, and I get a phone call. It's like, hi, I just want to let you know this is a sales call, and if you want to hang up, that's fine, but I wanted to talk to you about something. Like, well, that's a terrible way to start a phone call, but um, who are you calling and why? And he goes, well, I wanted to talk to you about your fleet. I'm sorry. Well, your fleet, Admiral. I said, I am at work, but this is my home phone. Well, yeah, I still wanted to talk to you about. And I'm like, oh, okay. He wanted to talk about our fleet of vehicles. And I finally had to stop him and go, it's a fleet of starships. And he's like, what? I said, that's Fleet Admiral. Starships, military, Navy. What?
What?
I don't even know where he found that I'm a Fleet Admiral at work and why he thought it would be okay to call me at home to talk about that. So he had to
That's
shut
so
that
random.
down real fast. Let's see. Cliff says Voyager was great. I disagree. There were some good stories. I agree. Scorpion was a great two-parter. Also, I agree. I just thought the premise was terrible. I don't like Janeway. I've made that very clear. And if she had been
Janeway alone.
if she had been a lieutenant instead of a captain, and was forced by circumstances to take over the leadership of the ship, everything is justified because she makes so many terrible mistakes, in my opinion. But if she'd been a junior officer who was trying to do her best, you can write it all off as she's a junior officer trying to do her best. That would have made the entire thing much better. She makes some bad decisions. But okay, hey, you know what?
Picard made bad decisions.
Of course
as
he did.
well.
And the thing is, with Picard, there's no excuse. Well, actually, there's no excuse with Voyager either. Picard makes some bad decisions, and I'm not going to argue that. But if your premise is here's
the thing is, Picard had always the ability to call home,
Yeah.
call the Admiralty, call Starfleet, call for reinforcements.
Yeah.
Janeway was cut off from everything, and yeah, she wanted to run stuff by the book, but sometimes like the situation was like,
Right, but I'm saying in terms of character development, making her an inexperienced captain who's forced to take on the role makes those bad decisions completely excusable, and there should be more of them towards the opening episodes and fewer and fewer and fewer as she becomes a more experienced captain. It would allow a character development arc that didn't exist. And
well, the thing is that they didn't. Did they ever do character development arc in the older Star Treks from first to this to like Enterprise?
Yeah, and DS9 had decent character development.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
But for the for the captain.
No. You can't have your captain be.
They never evolved any of the captains. Kirk was the same way as was at the beginning as he was at the end.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to have development of a character if you're going to have a character-driven story. They
didn't. Just a carryover structure of the story.
Yeah, it was.
For the captain, they always kept them. They're going to be always the same. Like, I mean, I think Janeway kind of changed. I'm not talking about the hair change, but
she did because the writers got better.
And I think the Mulgrew kind of like tried to work with. Tried to push for some changes of the character.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Also noticed that. I think I saw an interview of some sorts. She was looking back at the character and she was like, "Okay, can we write it a little bit differently because this does not make sense for her. Like, it's just dumb." I remember seeing a few moments when she was like kind of arguing with that, and like she definitely didn't want to be taken for granted in terms like, okay, we have female captains, she's going to do everything even if it doesn't make sense. So I think she was trying to do it. So I don't know. I know that I think it was just if she make decisions that she doesn't grow, she can totally queue for something and just pew and continue. Just by the way. You wanted Borg stuff, so we can go pew. I'm like, they could totally like. I think that's how they have the philosophy around captains, that this was a static, non-changeable character that's the constant.
Which you
everyone
can
around evolves.
You can have everyone around you change and keep the character.
That was the philosophy. I don't mean you can't. Yeah, we got to reboot. And don't say you can't. It's just like they have that mindset. I think maybe it was a Roddenberry template.
It is to a huge part. Well, part of it also is you have to have your story arc created from the get-go.
Yeah.
You have to know that you're going to change it. So with like Picard or TNG, Picard doesn't change much until we do Best of Both Worlds, and they do that follow-up episode called Family. And
then he goes back to normal.
To an extent, but not completely. And then they throw in the Inner Light, and again, he makes a big character change. Those were probably the best 3 episodes for forcing him to change his character at least a little bit. And then, of course, in the last one when he settles down to play poker with everybody.
Yeah, but those were so minor moments of change.
They are, but can you imagine having that happen across all the series where you see at least some level of change? We get older.
It would have been great. I would totally be up for it.
Me too. Make your characters change. 7 of 9 has at least good character development.
Yeah, but she was not a captain, so she was allowed to change. Everyone else is allowed to change except for the captain.
You need to make your captains changeable, otherwise, if they're flawed, they remain flawed, and nobody remains perfect all the time, so what's the fun in that?
I mean, I think they just wanted the captain to be a character that you look upon to, that they don't falter under the normal human conditions.
People do
that they're.
falter.
Yeah, I know, but they wanted to paint a vision you would aspire to, someone stable, constant.
I get that, but that gets into the whole Mary Sue. This person doesn't make mistakes, they don't change, they don't grow, and as a result, they're not interesting.
Funny enough, they actually grew Burnham in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, she would have to, because she was so awful in the first ones.
The first 2.5 seasons was like, okay, you did it, you can't do no wrong. But then season 4, season 5, she's more human than she was in the originals. I guess, I don't know, maybe she just shed off the Vulcan skin of herself. I don't know, because it's just so funny that they kind of went back with her allowing to make mistakes that she tries to make up later.
What if we had followed Saru the whole time instead of Burnham? I think that would have been
to me,
such
Saru
a better episode.
Is the hidden gem of the entire show.
He would have been an amazing captain, when Georgiou dies.
In season 5. I know that he was a lot less there because Doug Jones was just doing other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So then they weren't aware that this is going to be the last season, so it kind of just came out a little bit sad that he was just a little bit less prominent. But the stuff he gets is just pure gold.
Again, he's got
made up for it.
Character development going on through that. He's as a individual, as a species, we get to see a whole new thing that we didn't get to see before.
Yeah, and I like the new species that, and I love the fact that they transitioned from the 23rd century to the 32nd, because it allows him to see change in his species.
Yeah, well,
from the hostilities that were there. It was shifted, it was twisted because the prey actually turned into predator for self-preservation. And they actually went overboard, over the top, and that kind of gets reversed to a state when they're actually in balance in the 32nd century. And the way it's presented, and there's even a remark from Saru when he's trying to accommodate the fact that they are now living in harmony, despite all the past atrocities that were committed. And like, wow, that's such a good idea. I don't think we've ever had anything like that in Trek.
Let me interrupt. Good morning, Stargate Wars. And Cliff says, somebody posted the Blu-ray extras for Star Trek Enterprise. They talked to all the people who made the show, and it's fascinating. I bet it is.
Oh, yeah. I do love the extras. Howdy.
Plus, one thing they never really addressed is the fact that Saru didn't even know how they changed the all-seeing eye, even though he had spent a large portion of time over it in the 32nd century.
You mean the fact that it was repurposed in the 32nd century?
You think he would have came across?
But they just didn't. But they just didn't want to make it all about Saru, and he really got a lot of stuff shown about him. So I guess they still wanted Burnham to be the main protagonist of the show.
But the thing with Star Trek has always been that they examine the human condition through the eyes of a person who doesn't fit in with it. So you get your Spock.
Yeah.
You get your Data. 7 of 9, Saru. Enterprise really didn't have that, which is a shame.
Well, they had T'Pol, but
we don't really see. We see the eye of Vulcan through human eyes. We don't really see anything new because we've already done it with Spock. So they're the one that was interesting, and I think brought the most flavor to it was Phlox. I thought that was
Phlox was
interesting.
amazing.
Yeah.
Dr. Phlox was incredible. I loved him so much.
Good good character and some good storylines. Also
And a
with
very
the
good actor.
yeah, absolutely. Voyager also had the Doctor, where we could go ahead and have some fun exploring.
The Doctor's interaction with Cass, she was looking at him, he was looking at everything else. That dynamic was really great, despite Cass coming out as a kind of a bland character who had absolutely nothing. She was another Janeway in that show. She was kind of like unchanging.
Well, they
Always.
had anticipated Neelix being the breakout character that we used for the exploration of human condition, and that's not what. Oh, Neelix was Voyager.
Neelix was the Jar Jar Binks of
Yeah,
Voyager.
but they
He was
thought
just
that
like,
was gonna be the bomb. He was the one, and it didn't happen that way.
I mean, Ethan Phillips is great. I
He
love
is.
the
I
way
think
he
he's a great
acts.
actor.
And I have nothing against him. He was in other Trek shows before Voyager, like in episodic roles. So he was fine. The way he was adapting to things was really great.
But it came
But
down to bad script
still,
writing and bad characterization, not the actor's fault.
yeah, I think they just had. Yeah, if Voyager could have been written a lot better, I see that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying it's a flawless TV series. Look, it's not a flawless track. It's absolutely not. We don't have a flawless track.
Nope.
Even Strange New Worlds makes mistakes.
That's
Despite,
okay.
like-
Making mistakes makes for great storytelling. As long as they're not stupid, cliched, trite, mimi
Sure.
mistakes. Give us errors. Let people be flawed. Let them grow. Let them fail sometimes. I mean, some of the fun stuff with Worf is when he makes bad decisions, according to our set of standards, and he lives with it. Like when he refused to give the blood donation for the Romulan who's dying, and the Romulan doesn't want it, and Worf refuses to do it. And you can see Picard's disappointed, but at the same time, Worf remains true to his Worfiness, and it makes for a great character.
Yeah, that was a really good one. Yeah, I have to agree. But then again, we never got a perfect Star Trek series.
Nope,
so
and you never
far.
will. Never will.
I
Not
mean,
perfect.
not perfect. Yeah, I guess. I mean, there are no perfect TV series anyway.
Are you up for a
But-
little Zenkethy front?
Sure, but let me.
You don't have to.
swap
We can do
ship.
something else.
No, I want to swap ship. I need
Okay.
to do a lot of plasma damage, and I'm trying to figure out what ship can do it for me better.
Stargate Wars, do you want to join us for some pew pew?
I guess I can. I just need to slaughter one more Herc.
Sure, go ahead. Slaughter some Herc.
Alright, let's bring the Big Bertha. I haven't flown that ship in a while.
Well, I've killed the necessary 60 Herc frigates.
Oh, that's always the one I like. 'Cause it ends up me doing what is that trait?
Which one?
I'm sorry. Proximity alert. Improves survivability based on rank of nearby enemies.
Well, that's interesting.
Plus 100, plus 200, or plus 300 physical and kinetic damage resistance for 5 seconds. Plus 20, 40, or 60 defense rating for 5 seconds. Minus 50, 60. Is that 66? Yeah, 75. Global threat generation for 5 seconons.
That could be fun when you're tanking.
Yeah, one of the funny things I like of Enterprise for some of the knowledge is that for Jolene, her one of her Pearsons got stuck.
Jeez.
They had to cut it. They had to
no.
actually get it properly. A tattoo artist to help with extracting
Oh
it.
my god. Ow.
So
like
she could
level?
wear the necessary so that it wasn't actually there for the necessary scenes.
Wait, you mean Jolene, like from Enterprise?
Yes, yeah, her naval one.
Oh god. That sounds
Painful.
rather unfortunate. and painful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Ouch.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, the stuff that actors do.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've seen so many actors in real life. They're just tat city.
It also makes you wonder how long it had been there to require a lot of help from
Yeah. Yeah.
from the like a tattoo place down from the studio while she's in costume as well.
I'm sure somebody's got a
my-
wonderful story to tell about that when they got home from work that day. Hey, honey, let me tell you what happened at work today. I got to cut Jolene Blaylock out of her piercings.
Oh my god, like
Okay.
what the heck?
What?
No, I mean like imagining that kind of how that looked from their perspective.
You're
What?
forgetting there's been many times where actors have gone from one place to another still in costume.
Oh, yeah.
A perfect example is that the second Planet of the Apes movie?
Mm-hmm.
The guy that plays as the orangutan.
Yeah.
He had a talk show while filming the movie that he had to go to, and because the filming took a bit longer, he went straight to the talk show studio in full costume. It's actually on YouTube, the video for it.
I know there's a story about some director who was a fan of Star Trek, and they were filming Star Trek on one set, and they were doing some like legal drama on another one, and he basically just had the Klingons come over and sit in the audience boxes in the trial scene and said nothing about it, and everybody's like, what?
Oh my god.
That would be so funny. All right, Chris, you ready? Stargate Wars, you
Yep.
ready?
Yep. And then obviously there's things like the first Deadpool, where they film the same scene while they happen to be also filming one of the X-Men films.
Weevil?
Yep. So they did a quick crossover with having them close the door while they're doing the scene.
All right, so this is very interesting. You know all the vacationers who are dancing in the dance party?
Yeah.
The dance party just closed, and they all materialized here on the beach in their beach chairs.
Oh my god. That's so hilarious.
I'd never noticed that before.
Have you ever noticed that if you're on someone else's bridge and the captain who technically owns the bridge warps out, you might notice intruders on the bridge? I mean, intruders, like, assume it's a Federation ship, right? So
Yeah.
all the
I
officers
have
who are
never
sitting
noticed that.
in the chairs will be Federation. Well, I remember being on, I think it was the Voyager bridge, you know, the fancy one. And the captain who owns the ship warped out.
Mhm.
Klingons materialized in the bridge officer seats
Huh.
instead of like Federation officers. So, like, what the hell? That was so
Oh,
random.
that's interesting.
It does that every now and then if you're not on your bridge, but you stay on the map, but the captain warps out. The affiliation changes, and there be some weird officers in there, and I'm like, what the hell?
That's
What is
really
the dependency on it? Why does it happen like this? How is that scripted that it's actually happening? I don't get it. Readings programs? Who's a program? I feel like being called that.
Don't you- The introduction to Tron?
Never seen Tron.
You've never seen Tron? Oh, go see Tron. It's old school, but
I mean the first one, not the.
the first one. The one, well, Bruce Boxleitner, Jeff Bridges.
Oh, Jeff Bridges played the.
Yeah, he
Old one
plays
too.
the hero in the original one, and he's in the remake. I don't remember.
Technically, the second one isn't a remake; it's a sequel.
It's supposed to be a
Right.
continuation.
Yeah, it is. He's involved in it, and it's interesting. Who plays the CPU? It's what's his name? I can see his face. Yeah. Well-known actor. But that
Pretty
has
good.
to be what,
Glad the damage done.
1980s, late 80s, early 90s.
First run?
Yeah, the first run
82.
has to.
Like 1980, I think.
82.
82. Wow, serious? Oh yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Because it's right when I got married.
Because at the end of the 70s, of 1979, when they
No.
were shooting it.
My husband and I were engaged or just
Even
recently
that, yeah.
married, and we would go to the video game place. It's not video game. We'd go to the game place, the game arcade, and we would play the Tron games. And we got married in 81, so it'd have to be around then. For some reason, I was thinking it was when my son was born, but not a lot of video arcades anymore.
You get married in 1981.
I got married in 1981.
Same year my parents got married.
Yeah, we made it to 41 years. Yeah, we made it 41 years.
And my parents did manage 39.
There's a bomb here if somebody wants one.
I'm too big
You
to
need
carry
to
a
pick
bomb.
it
I'm
up.
just shooting spare.
Fine.
You have to pick it up because if you don't, the Zinkefi
expires.
does.
Oh, well, he can't have it. It's my bomb. Let's see. Somebody's over there. I guess we'll go over here then. Don't know. Chris, does somebody over there have a bomb where you're at right now?
No.
Okay, I'm on my way. I'll come over and blow this thing up.
Yeah, you're the closest one. And the coast is clear. It's just a simulated Zenkethi ship. I don't know who brings in the simulator.
Only one enemy base left.
Yay, one left.
Dreadnought to stop us.
Where
Enemy
is...
bases destroyed.
Oh, let's see.
Oh.
There's the Dreadnought.
That was unexpectedly fast. Okay.
Well, somebody was over there at the starbase gathering bombs.
Destroy it.
And the Zenkethi.
And we're done.
See, that was easy. Did I even get... Oh, I got my 30. Yay. I think I got my 30. I got my 30. Yay.
People tell you who else gets a cameo in Prodigy Season 2?
Everybody. I was kind of looking
No,
at... Let's see. Janeway's in it. Who else? Yeah, I was looking at the other day. No, who are you thinking of?
Jellicoe?
Really?
Yep, he's in that.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, I was like, what? I don't think he's played by the original actor too. So.
He is. That it was Ronnie.
And they
Wow.
made him look like, you know, an older version of Jellicoe from TNG, so it's kind of hilarious.
Well,
Yeah.
technically it was only 20 years after that TNG episode, so
Yeah, I guess.
I was thinking of
yeah,
David
there are a few
Warner.
cameos. There are a few more cameos. It actually made me look at Picard Season 1 a little bit differently. So I started rewatching it today.
Picard season 1 was... I wanted it
Yeah,
to be so much better than it was.
The thing is that the ending of Prodigy kind of sets the stage for Picard Season 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Kinda
I
tried to bridge them. They tried to bridge them up. Like
I had heard that, yeah.
inside the law. So
And explaining Janeway's return courtesy of the attack on Mars and all that stuff. I get that. It's nice when they try
Yeah.
and pull things together.
and it actually
Yeah.
works. The way they made it work, it actually makes sense. I'm so mind-boggled that was something undoable in all the other shows. Like the stuff
Well-
that's happened in Picard felt so detached from all the other shows,
Mhm.
and from all the other films. Like, why is it so different? Why the Starfleet is so weird? And like, actually, Prodigy took the effort to try and like put little bits of nods, mentions, elements, not forcibly all shoehorned in the last episode so they all fit together, but like there were mentionings here and there that started to spread too thin, why this is happening, that. And it actually starts to make sense and actually starts to connect. Like, even Lower Decks doesn't, like, connect all the dots. Yeah, they do take elements from the shows, but they kind of bring them to make fun of them rather than just build upon them.
It's not
Well-
that they're making fun; they're Easter egging them. They're doing, fan servicey type things as part of the stories. But there is a
Yeah.
huge amount of dedication to
Although they do
getting
make
those.
a nod to Lower Decks in Voyager season,
Well-
in Prodigy season 2. It's hilarious.
I just
But
go ahead.
remember, the upcoming season of Lord
Lower Decks.
Dax is literally just happening. Its time period would be roughly just
Although
before
it's a-
Prodigy season 1. So
Oh, so they might actually have some nods and stuff, mentions.
because remember, this starts in 2080 for the first season, and most of it's not been exactly like each season's a year for
Yeah, there are gaps,
Lord
yeah.
Dax. So.
Mhm.
There are gaps in time, yeah. I mean,
And
that's great,
Prodigy
but
did that especially.
it's funny that they do that better with side animated shows that are not going to be watched by everyone.
But you
Just
can get
that-
away with
that's-
something that's more niche. It's
I
why
mean-
Netflix succeeded as a company, is they did not focus on the big blockbuster movies and trying to have those available. They focused on having the weird little animes that maybe only 2 people in the country want, but hey, you can rent it from them. And by being
Yeah.
this micro niche company, they were able to garner a bigger proportion of the viewing population than just focusing on the big names.
Certainly, I get that. Again, I'm kind of salty that Picard went so far-fetched from everything else.
Yeah,
until
I
season 3.
agree. Oh,
It just did not utilize anything. They had like tropes and ideas how to expand upon the stuff that was already in the lore, known by everybody, lying on the ground, and you just walked around it. And then you had to have niche TV series like Lower Decks and Prodigy that actually build upon that and make better job at it, and actually start making
I
those
think
bigger
Picard season
shows.
3 was very much a wrap for those of us who were, very dedicated to TNG,
was.
and we needed that for our
It was, and it was
personal mental
needed, but
health.
that should have been done from season 1. Not
I
season
agree.
3. Sorry, they wasted 2 seasons for crap.
Boy,
that
do
just
I
didn't
agree
make
with you on
much.
that one.
Like first season is so detached; it could have been named anything else, and it didn't have to be set in Star Trek.
There's things they could have done
Anyway.
with season 1 that would have made it work, and they chose
Can
not
we-
to.
Can we squeeze aftermath because I have 10 Voth to kill?
Yeah, absolutely.
The problem of when Patrick wanted to be a very different Picard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted it different. It's kind of his fault.
Oh, it's totally his
Like the
fault.
way-
So you want to do Aftermath?
Yeah,
Yeah, we can do
it.
it.
Has Voth. Right, I'm launching then.
If you'd like
It's
to
just
join
like-
us, Stargate Wars, we're doing Aftermath. The Patrol. Yeah, no, that was definitely an ego thing, and
I mean, I get it why he did not want to go back to, we're operating another starship in space and we're doing the
And you
same as
could have done
TNG.
that.
I get why he didn't, but the way he was adamant about excluding certain elements that blocked them from writing good stories and had
Yeah.
to make it so unlike anything he has done, just can't stand it.
Yeah.
Can't stand it.
And yet there were ways they could have done it. I mean, I like the whole concept behind it, and they could have played on that a
And
lot
now-
more.
And now the full expresses, well, I would like to see a Picard film or something. I'm like, excuse me,
No, I think we
you
had a good
wasted
rap.
2 seasons, you had your time, give us Legacy, I don't care. I don't care, I don't
want-
want to see him in Legacy. I want Legacy done without Picard even mentioned.
Yeah, they're
For,
gonna
like,
mention
to rub his nose. I just, fudge off. Because he wasted 2 seasons because he was adamant he was one of the XX. So, and he wants to make another Picard movie. No, you had your chance. Goodbye.
The Borg had found some assistance.
Yep.
Like,
How quaint.
No, I would rather have Mulgrew come back.
Nope.
And this-
Nope, nope, nope.
Why?
Why? Well, one, I don't like her character, and two, I don't like her as a
Okay.
person. So, there we go.
Actually, Janeway grows nicely in season 2, especially because she's a lot more prominent in season 2 Prodigy, and they kind of make her an interesting growing character. She actually grows there as Vice Admiral Janeway. You would like her, I think.
No, I don't like her. I mean, what?
Different story. Better Janeway. They've even retconned that, the fact that they shoehorned that relationship with Seven
Yep.
and Chakotay. That's never even mentioned.
Good.
There's clear infatuation between Chakotay and Janeway.
No, no, nope, nobody, nope, nope,
But,
nope.
it's not gross. because
Okay.
It's a kid show, so it's not gross. It's just like, you realize that they have a bond that goes beyond, just loyalty, because they were serving together in Delta Corps. There is something more, but it's not as gross as you think. There were no kisses or anything
Good.
like it, but there is like a hint that they are more than just loyal friends. They miss each other, like, physically. So I do like that. Ooh, your ship is burning. Don't let that happen.
Did you get your 30 ships?
Yeah, around the half the patrol.
Okay.
So
Wasn't sure.
great, thanks.
Just wanted to make sure you got that one. Well, I'm going to leave
Yeah.
it here with our conversation and this because I'm going to go jump in the shower. I have a
Oh,
meeting
yeah.
today to try and figure out what they're going to do to replace me. So this should be a fun conversation.
Sounds like no.
Yeah, well, long story, which I'm not going to go into, but
Alright.
yeah, yeah. I it's not that I know they don't appreciate me. They appreciate me, and
They would better.
well, I'm looking forward to not having to get up at 5 in the morning, do my show, get dressed, go to work for 8 hours, come home, have just enough time to do maybe 5 minutes yard work, and do another show. What if that middle 8 hours was, I can get a nap, or I can go biking, or I can take the dogs out, or I can get the groceries. Something I've not done since I was a teenager. Kind of looking forward to it. Yeah, and you'll hear me 3 weeks from today going, oh my God, I'm so bored.
Adult life is sucky. You don't always have the time to do the things you want, but
Yep.
there are myriads of things you need to do
Yeah, there
because
really are.
they need to be done.
And making
the
money
adulting
becomes
part.
part of it as part of the adulting.
Ugh,
Ugh.
it's the worst part. I mean, if you were doing the stuff you love and that you enjoy and you thrive in, that's fine. But sometimes you just end up in a role that does not necessarily accommodate the enjoyment part, but you still need the money, so
Yeah, money's a nice
there you
thing.
go.
Anyway, I'm getting out of here, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Tomorrow's Friday. Yes, I will be back tomorrow. Just give you a really quick update here. Should have a regular schedule next week. The week after, though, I will be gone on the 26th. I have to run up to Chicago for the day, and I think I have to be there in the morning. If I have to be there in the morning, I need to leave here by 6 a.m. at the latest. If I don't have to be there till the afternoon, we'll have a show. And then we'll figure it out after that, because right after that we head off to Vegas for DT's wedding. So probably the end of the month, will be very, very little gameplay. The 29th through the 3rd, I think we'll probably just be gone the whole week. We will see. We will see. But everyone, until this evening, we will be back at 6 p.m. And short story, they can't replace me. Technically, Cliff, they can't replace me. I mean, yes, I answer the phone. They can hire somebody to do that. But then some of the other things, you could hire a bunch of people to replace me, but that gets expensive. Anyway, I am out of here, guys. Have a wonderful day, and as we like to say around here, stay moopsome.
Moopsome.
Moopsome. Moopsy. Moopsy.